Follow along, Catholic Pilgrims, as we follow French doctor of the Church, St. Francis de Sales, through his book, Introduction to the Devout Life. Tune in as we read through this practical guide for living out the Catholic faith well. Hello, Catholic Pilgrims. Good to have you back with me. I'm totally going to date myself today, but that's fine. I don't really worry too much about people knowing my age. But anyway, I grew up watching the Andy Griffth Show with my dad. And several years ago, when my family wanted to watch something that didn't scar our souls, we started watching the Andy Griffth Show. There are many things about that show that I love, but I particularly love when the show is centered on a Sunday. The people of the town go to church. They might have a potluck picnic afterwards where all the food looks amazing. And then Andy and Barney sit on Andy's front porch and drink a Coke, listen to Andy play the guitar, and just sit around and talk about nothing. Aunt B is in the kitchen making something that sounds delicious. I just always feel a sense of longing for Sundays to be more like that. St. Francis is going to talk briefly today about how to respond to Sundays and festivals and other public services. So grab your book and open to chapter 15 of the second part. Chapter 15, Other Public Services. On Sundays and festivals especially, you should assist at the divine office as much as you are able. For these days above all are dedicated to God, and on them it is well to offer him a more abundant service than on other days. Thus you will experience the blessings of public worship like St. Augustine, who records in his Confessions that when in the beginning of his conversion he heard the psalmody of the church, his heart melted within him, and his eyes streamed with holy tears. Moreover, there is always greater benefit and comfort to be derived from the public service of the church than from private devotion, God having promised a special blessing to this union of hearts and souls. Take advantage of the societies or confraternities which exist where you are, especially those whose rule abound most in good works and edification. This obedience is pleasing to God. For though the Church does not enjoin such ties, she highly recommends them, in witness of which she grants indulgences and other privileges to confraternities. And it is always profitable to be joined to others and cooperate in good works. And although you might perform equally pious exercises by yourself, and perhaps with more self-gratification, yet God is more glorified by our being united to our friends and neighbors. I say the same of all public prayers and good works, in all of which we ought, as far as may be, to consider the benefit to our neighbors of a good example, and our own zeal for the glory of God and the common welfare. If you want to irritate me to no end, leave a comment that says, "I don't need to go to church. I feel God more by myself out in nature." This irritates me for a couple of reasons. Number one, it's not biblical. Our Christian faith is not simply about a personal relationship with Jesus. We are the body of Christ, and we are to be in communion with one another. St. Francis says, quote, "There is always greater benefit and comfort to be derived from the public service of the Church than from private devotions, God having promised a special blessing to this union of hearts and souls," unquote. And number two, it's dishonest. Yes, nature is a great way to get in touch with the Creator, but nobody is becoming a saint by ignoring church and going out into the woods to spend time with Jesus. St. Francis says, quote, "Although you might perform equally pious exercises by yourself and perhaps with more self-gratification, yet God is more glorified by our being united to our friends and neighbors," unquote. The more and more connected we get on social media, and I use connected loosely, the less connected we get in person. It used to be that Sundays were for getting up, getting ready, going to church, hanging around to visit, and then going home to enjoy family time and maybe invite neighbors and other family and friends over. Hardly anyone does this anymore, and it's so sad. It's why I look at the Andy Griffth Show and long for days like that, because they just don't happen anymore. And people always tell me, oh, Amy, the times have changed. Well, they've changed because we've changed them. It's not as if they're out of our control. But Sundays nowadays are just another day to get stuff done, and nobody wants to spend time together and just enjoy God, family, friends, rest, and relaxation. Sundays have also been overtaken by sports, and many families are choosing to go to sporting events rather than to go to church. We need this time to be connected to God and connected to each other in person. So I would encourage you never to miss Mass unless you have a grave, unavoidable reason, and try to get everything else done on other days so that you can truly enjoy the Lord's Day and be refreshed. We'll stop there, Catholic Pilgrims. Have a blessed rest of your day. And until next time, live the faith boldly and travel well.